Let me ask you something. If I handed you $100 today and told you to keep it safe for the next 10 years, no investing, no spending, I just keep it locked away. Would you expect that money to be worth the same 10 years from now? Most people would say yes. After all, it's still $100. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Even if you never touch it, even if no one steals it, even if it sits safely in a bank, that money is losing value every single day, quietly, slowly, almost invisibly. That silent loss has a name: inflation. Inflation doesn't empty your bank account overnight. It doesn't flash a warning sign. It doesn't feel dramatic. Instead, it works in the background. Prices rise a little, your money stretches a little less. Life gets slightly more expensive, and most people don't notice right away. They just feel like something is off. Groceries cost more than they used to. Rent keeps creeping up. Saving feels harder than before. This video is about that slow pressure, what inflation really is, how it quietly reduces the value of your money, why so many people underestimate it, and what actually matters when it comes to protecting yourself. No hype, no fear tactics, just clear thinking. At its core, inflation is simple. It means prices go up over time. That's all it is. When prices rise, your money buys less. Think about everyday things: coffee, fuel, rent, a simple meal. Things that used to feel cheap now feel expensive. Years ago, a coffee for $1 was normal. Today, that same coffee might cost 4 or 5. The coffee didn't suddenly improve. Your money just lost strength. Inflation doesn't change the number on your bank balance. It changes what that number can do. That's the key idea. There's a concept most people never really think about. It's called purchasing power. Purchasing power is simply this: how much stuff your money can buy. If inflation runs at 5% a year, your money loses about 5% of its purchasing power each year. Let's put real numbers on this. Imagine you have $10,000 saved. It feels responsible, it feels safe, it feels like progress. But with 5% inflation, after 1 year, your $10,000 only buys what 9,500 used to buy. After 5 years, it feels closer to 7,800. After 10 years, it might feel like 6 or 7,000. Nothing was stolen, nothing disappeared, but quietly, your money became weaker. That's why inflation is often called a silent thief. Most of us grow up hearing the same advice: work hard, save your money, put it in the bank. And saving is important. It gives you stability, it protects you from emergencies. But here's the problem: most savings accounts pay interest that's lower than inflation. So even though your money earns interest, it still loses value in real terms. For example, if your savings earn 2% a year, but inflation is 5%, you're losing about 3% every year. Slowly, quietly, consistently. That's why so many people feel stuck. They're doing what they were told to do, they're being careful, they're being responsible, and yet they're falling behind. So, why does inflation happen at all? One big reason is money supply. When central banks create more money or keep interest rates very low, more money flows into the economy. If the amount of money grows faster than the amount of goods and services, prices usually rise. It's basic supply and demand. More money, same stuff, higher prices. Inflation is also driven by real world pressures: higher wages, rising fuel costs, more expensive housing, global conflicts, supply chain problems. Each factor pushes prices up a little. Over time, those small increases add up. Here's something that confuses a lot of people. Sometimes inflation is high and stock markets are high. Real estate is expensive. Gold prices are rising. It feels like everything is going up. How is that possible? Because when money loses value, assets often rise in price to keep up. Stocks, property, commodities, they're priced in money. When money weakens, the prices of real assets often rise. It creates the illusion of growth, but sometimes it's just the measuring stick shrinking. There are a few ideas about inflation that sound reasonable but don't hold up. First, my salary's going up, so I'm fine. If your income grows slower than prices, you're still losing ground. A bigger paycheck doesn't help if everything costs more. Second, I'll just keep cash. It's safe. Cash is stable in number, but unstable in value. It feels safe, but inflation slowly eats away at it. Third, one asset will protect me: gold, crypto, stocks. Sometimes they help, sometimes they don't. There's no magic shield against inflation, only smart decisions over time. Inflation is dangerous because it's slow. Humans react to sudden pain, not gradual change. A market crash gets attention. Inflation slips by unnoticed. It's like weight gain. You don't notice it day to day. You notice it years later. By the time inflation feels obvious, so most of the damage is already done. Inflation doesn't just change prices, it changes behavior. People start spending faster because holding money feels pointless. They take more risks, they chase returns, they fear missing out. This pressure leads to bubbles, bad investments, and emotional decisions. Inflation doesn't just affect money, it affects how people think, how people protect themselves. You don't beat inflation by panicking, you beat it by understanding it. Many people choose to invest rather than leave money idle, spread their money across different assets, focus on growing their income over time. Avoid letting inflation quietly do the damage. You don't need to be rich. You don't need perfect timing. You just need awareness because inflation is always working whether you pay attention or not. Inflation isn't evil, it's part of modern economies, but ignoring it is expensive. The biggest mistake isn't making bad choices, it's making no choice at all and letting time do the damage. Once you understand inflation, you stop thinking only about money. You start thinking about value, inflation, and daily life. Inflation isn't just numbers on a chart, it touches everything you do every day. Your grocery bill rises, gas prices climb, your morning coffee costs more, even streaming subscriptions and utilities creep higher over time. It's subtle, but it adds up. A small increase every month might not seem like much, but over a year it can cost hundreds, even thousands of dollars. Being aware of these small, everyday changes is the first step to making smarter choices with your money. Inflation and investments. Inflation also affects investments. Stocks, bonds, real estate, and savings accounts all behave differently when inflation is high. Some investments may grow in value, but not fast enough to outpace rising prices. Others, like certain commodities or real estate, may benefit. The key is understanding how your money works for you. If your investments don't keep up with inflation, your wealth is still shrinking in real terms. Investing isn't about getting rich fast, it's about keeping your money from losing value quietly over time. Actionable strategies to fight inflation. There are concrete steps you can take to protect yourself. Track your spending and notice where inflation hits you most. Diversify your savings. Don't leave everything in cash. Consider investments that historically outpace inflation, like stocks, real estate, or certain bonds. Focus on building skills and income streams. Sometimes increasing what you earn is the best defense. Even small actions compound over time. Awareness plus consistent action can keep inflation from quietly eroding your wealth. Inflation doesn't scream. It whispers, it doesn't take your money. It takes what your money can do. And once you notice it, you can't unsee it. Inflation doesn't make headlines every day. It works slowly in the background, shaping prices, savings, and the choices we make with money. Once you understand that, you stop reacting to noise and start seeing the bigger picture. That's what we do here on Quiet Money Explained. We break down how money, inflation, and the economy really work clearly, calmly, and without hype. Now I want to hear from you. Have you felt inflation in your daily life, in groceries, rent, fuel, savings? Share your experience in the comments. And if this helped you think more clearly about money, subscribe to the channel. Here we talk about finance without hype, without panic, just clear ideas in a noisy world.